Now that our needle is threaded, the next thing we need to do is put on our stop bead. The purpose of a stop bead is exactly as it sounds. It stops the rest of the beads that you thread onto your needle from sliding off the end of your thread. In beading, you almost never put knots in the end of your threads. The stop bead will act in its place. In some cases, you might use a different bead or a larger bead that is separate from your project as a stop bead. The reason that you would do that is because you intend to remove the bead when you finish your work. In the case of our project, bead number 1 on your graph is actually going to act as our stop bead. So what we're going to do is pick up one red bead. This will be bead number 1 in your graph. And we're going to slide it down our thread to about 1 foot before the end of our thread. In our project, we need to leave about a 12-inch tail. The reason that we're going to do that is we're going to come back at the end of the weaving of our bracelet and use this tail to actually attach the clasp to this end of the bracelet. So, I'm holding the tail of the thread in my left hand. I'm actually holding the needle and the thread of on the front end of the bead in my right. I'm going to take my needle, pass it over the bead, and then pass it back through the bead from the tail end to the front of the bead again. So what I'm essentially doing, as I pull this little snug, is I have created a loop with the bead in the middle. Now any beads I put on after this bead will stay on this thread. In some cases you might even want to pass through this bead 2 or 3 times. It's not necessary in the case of our project. Once will do it. So again, we have a stop bead and we have approximately 12 inches of tail after the stop bead.